Check 1 2. Check check check. Test. Check. Hello. Hmm. Hmm. All right, I think we're good. I think we are good. And hello. Welcome. My name is Mr. Psyke, and welcome to the Mr. Psyke Sunday Show. The Sunday show where we talk about all things anime, gaming, and VTubing right here, Sundays, 10 a.m. PST on YouTube. I'm Mr. Psyke, and I hope you're having a good week. I know I am. First off and foremost, sorry so much for the late start today. Just trying to get everything set up. Been quite a quite can't even talk, jeez. Let me shake it off. Good morning. We're getting the coffee. We're getting warmed up. We're getting ready to go. Welcome. Hope everybody is doing well. Mr. Psyke here for episode 4. Episode 4. Wow. Going so quick. Episode 4 of the Sunday Show. This week on the Sunday Show, we're going to be talking about Destiny again, as they threw a little bit of skimmer action up in the mix. We have sorry, I'm still warming up the old vocal box. You know what I mean? I'm still trying to get inside of the groove, reach the flow state, if you know what I mean. Ugh. Sorry. Anyways, this week we're going to be looking a little bit at the skimmers that came into Destiny 2. Dragonball Fighterz had a new console gen update with the rollback implementation, and we're going to go ahead and talk about that. And I got my hands on Berserk Boy, the indie title that boasts a nice combination between retro style games like Mega Man and Sonic. And yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about that. Also today, for the first 3 anime section, I'm going to go over the first 3 episodes of, I believe it's called Using Healing Magic the Wrong Way, is the total and complete title there. And then for the VTuber section, we're going to be talking about some interesting ASMR titles that began to pop up on VTubers' timelines. All that and more this week on the Mr. Psyke Show. I want to thank everybody for showing up and turning up as we get into this first section of the show. I'm going to be trying a little bit something new with the script today, so I really hope all goes well. Anyways, folks, I hope you just give me a quick moment here to get everything set up as I queue up my first script here. Just as a reminder, for the Mr. Psyke Sunday Show, we are here live Sundays PST. That's 10 a.m. PST every Sunday, where we talk about some stuff. You know, we talk about the VTubing community and anime, and I get into my fun gaming section. We also do this thing where I try to stall for time. I try to figure out what the hell I'm doing, because I clearly was not ready to go this morning. So I'm just going to try this real quick. If it doesn't work, we're just going to go to our regularly scheduled program. Just see how this goes, right? See how it goes. All right, so if everybody can see me properly, should be good. Let's stick that right there and see how that looks. That looks okay. That looks okay. Hey, this might work, chat. This might be it. I might have just found the secret weapon. We're gonna find out right now. Gonna find out right now. All right, folks. Welcome to the game sesh. This week on the game sesh, we're looking at Dragonball Fighterz. We're looking at Destiny 2, and we're looking at Berserk Boy. Please, my apologies. Again, I would like to say again, very, very quickly, I'm so sorry if the delivery doesn't come out good here. This is going to be my first time trying something new. You know, you gotta, every once in a while, you gotta change it up. You gotta try some new stuff, and you gotta see what's working over here. What's working. One thing that's not working is OBS. It hates me right now, but we're gonna move on to it. Yeah, I learned a valuable lesson today, and that is don't start late, because that puts everything behind. Everything is behind. No, it's not gonna let me do it. Not gonna work. Not gonna let me do it. It's not gonna work. Let's try it. Let's try it again. Here we go. In the fighting game arena, I looked forward to the thought of one of my favorite fighting games, Dragonball Fighterz, as it was getting a console update and rollback. I was pretty excited. Interesting. Okay. This is we're doing the trials and tribulations here as I stumble. We're gonna try this again. Maybe. Sorry, we are having some technical difficulties, and I'm gonna try to shake it off. I'm gonna try to see how this goes. In the fighting game arena, I looked forward to the thought of one of my favorite fighting games, Dragonball Fighterz, getting a new console update and rollback. It was pretty exciting. While Dragonball Fighterz is indeed showing its age at this point, and there are plenty of good, if not great, fighting games to play right now, the loyal base of fans for the fighting game, and fighting games in general, and Dragon Ball, the loyal fan base of fans. Yeah, this isn't gonna work. All right, guys, this ain't gonna work. This ain't gonna work. I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. I'm gonna go ahead and do it my way. You know, you try to do new stuff. You try to bring out the new vibes. You try to make things good to go. You know, I just want to remind you that if you're hanging out right now on the live Sunday show, then you are the only one that's gonna have to go through all of these trials and tribulations as I struggle to get through. Yeah, as I get through all this nonsense, it's pretty we'll get there. Anyways, welcome. Welcome to the gaming sesh, where we are on take number 900. That's what it feels like to me, but it's not. I'm just here vibing. Anyways, in the fighting game arena, I looked forward to the thoughts of one of my favorite fighting games, Dragonball Fighterz, getting its new console update and rollback. While Dragonball Fighterz is definitely showing this While Dragonball Fighterz is definitely showing off its age at this point, And there are also plenty of good, if not great, fighting games to play. The loyal fan base of fighting game players and Dragon Ball fans alike who enjoy Dragon Ball Fighterz have been awaiting the rollback for this game for quite some time. Well, the verdict is out, and it seems to be pretty ass. With PS5 players taking the largest brunt of the bugs and glitches during matches, the overall rollback experience has not been great, and that's been the sentiment amongst players all over the place. Most stating that there hasn't been any change since the beta version of the rollback that released last fall. For comparison's sake, there are plenty of players saying the overall experience, as compared to delay-based, it's still working bounds above where it was when it was in delay-based netcode. But, you know, when things are working well, they're working well. But right now, things are not always working very well. I believe that getting rollback into Dragon Ball Fighterz would be a really easy win if they can implement it properly. Right now, it seems like we have just a serviceable version, but my hopes are that they can get the rollback working so I can stop sitting here crying about the fact that Dragon Ball Fighterz 2 is probably either way off on the horizon or simply not even in development. Bungie is throwing game crashes to the wind this week, and probably trying to generate some buzz as they square up for their bout with Bungie fans in the pivotal upcoming release, but skimmers dropped and traversal in Destiny has never been the same. With some world hubs looking like a mini skate park, Tony Hawk would truly be proud. Normally, the Guardian games comes and goes with the same formula as most of the D2 holiday events do. However, I saw some D2 players that have been a bit burned out looking like they haven't for a while and really enjoying the game. They're enjoying the clips, all the discourse, and, you know, Bungie gave us something nice. Eyes are still on the final shape, and I will assume that this little bump in people checking out Destiny Pro Skater 3 will add some eyes to the game, which might be the perfect time for them to send out some info for what's coming off onto the horizon. I'm not holding my breath, but let's go ahead and keep our eyes out. Indie game for the week, and I'm really happy to report that Berserk Boy, the retro-inspired platformer, dropped, and I had to jump in and check it out, and this one is absolutely amazing. It was initially described to me as Mega Man meets Sonic. While Sonic fans have had a couple of moments to eat more recently, I think Mega Man fans are still waiting for their peak, you know, successor, or that hard and confirmed sequel, you know. A lot of us are scared and traumatized from the hype train and inevitable fall that was Mighty Number 9. For those who don't know or have, you know, understandably neuralized that memory from your storage banks, Mighty Number 9 started as a Kickstarter with so much Mega Man hype injected into its DNA. You were basically not a Mega Man fan if you didn't know that this project was at least in existence. A memeable marketing campaign, unrealistic stretch goals, as well as just some bad reverb amongst the fans' vibe check, led to a disastrous failure for the Mighty Number 9 game. However, despite my fears, I keep my eyes, however, hopeful that some sort of real Mega Man sequel is emerge. And that's why I was so attracted to check out Berserk Boy. Well, I'm not going to overhype you and say that this game is that, because it's not. However, it does aspire to have a wonderful melding of the feelings that you get when you play Mega Man with a dose of the high-octane flow state you enter when you're running around in a Sonic game. The anime influence and retro game influence is dripping in every scene. The character designs are fun and over the top in the best way. And the way the game unfolds, the more you master the abilities and defeat the bosses, you start to get much more in a like Sonic type movement space, and you begin to get to You start to maximize your abilities and find out like what skills defeat each bosses, much like a Mega Man game. And the more you optimize, the faster you move, much like a Sonic game. The option to include an old school mode that forces you to play your lives and forces you to get quicker mastery of the game will have you replaying sections very much like you did in the glory days of the Blue Bomber. Berserk Boy is a wonderful taste of those retro game aesthetics with a pace inserted that will, it'll delight anybody looking for a good platformer, if not inspire a couple of, speedrunners to get in there and show off what they're doing. Is this the Mega Man game that we were looking for in 2024? Probably not, but I don't think that's what it wanted to be. A well-built indie title with a great pace, a great price, and tipping its hat to those that came before it while creating a new package that I can enjoy, makes it an easy sell, an easy win, and an easy game to recommend for everybody looking for something to play out there. If you got time and you're on PC or Switch, I would strongly suggest checking this one out. Listen, thank you so much for joining me on the game sesh for the week. I'm going to take a very, very short break, and then we're going to get into the discussion section right after this. Thank you so much for joining me on the Mr. Psyke Show. I'll be right back. Hello, welcome back to myself. Told you all I was committed to that joke. I told you I was committed to that joke. Whew. Hope everyone is having a good day and a good week. Happy Sunday to you and yours. If you're not aware, my name is Mr. Psyke, and you have joined me on the Mr. Psyke Show, Sunday show where we talk about all things gaming, anime, and VTubing, right here in my little corner of the internet every Sunday. I'm currently chilling in the open discussion section for the game sesh. All names and titles are currently works in progress. Nothing is set in stone. I'm also going to be changing things like titles and cards, so don't get used to that. But none of that matters because I have like 10 whole fans, so it is what it is, right? Making moves as well. I'm going to try to make sure that all the segment videos make it to the channel. Right now, editing seems to be the biggest kerfuffle in my life, but we'll get there, you know. And I'm still toying around. I did one. I put out one of my session videos this week with some music, and I don't know how I feel about it. I'm still not really sure. I keep going back and forth. I'm like, yeah, should we have music in the session videos? Should we not have music in the session videos? It's all, I just don't know what to do. You get a lot of get a lot of chances. Chancelotas. I got axolotl. Listen, I got a lot of opportunities to have some chats with some VTubers this week out the scene, and then I also got a chance to sit in on a really good interview this week with some of the other Black creators in the VTubing space. So I thought that was pretty cool. It was a good hangout. Kind of focusing back in on the gaming stuff this week, though. Berserk Boy is awesome. So after playing for, I don't even know how many hours I got in. I would say that I've gotten through, I think there's 6 major worlds, and I got through like 3 of them, maybe 4. But there's a lot of extra stuff. There's a lot of fun stuff to do. But I think the awesome part is that as you start out, it feels very, very much like a Mega Man game, where the movement is kind of slower. The jumps are a little bit, it's about precise jumps and wall jumps and stuff like that. But then as you unlock your dash abilities and you start to upgrade your dash abilities and you start to get into the rhythm of your dashing. So what'll happen is you dash and you get it basically like an impact. And then when you get an impact on an enemy or an object that can be, I guess, impacted, or I guess can be charge dashed, or whatever you want to call it, you kind of get like this like a hang time. So you get like a bump, so you're kind of hanging there, and your jump reactivates. So you can then use your abilities, you can switch, you can do another dash, and as long as you hit something, like you hit an object with your dash, you usually get your movement ability reset. So that pretty much opens up to a lot of like dash, smash, float, and then into the next thing, Then as the game continues to move on, you'll start to notice that as you're comboing things, you have a little combo meter, and as long as you continue to kill enemies or collect the, I guess, orbs that are around the world, it'll keep your combo meter going. So you eventually start to move into like, how stylish can I make this? How fast can I make this? How, can I switch my abilities on the fly between enemies, and so on and so forth. So it becomes this really like very, very flow steady game where the better you get, the more comfortable you get with the mechanics, the faster and cooler things look. And I always love games like that. So if you're out there looking for that one, you're like me, and you're like still just, you shudder in your closet when you think about Mighty Number 9 and how it wasn't able to deliver that Mega Man experience that we really wanted. And we still sit here and like stare viciously at Capcom while we try to wait for, our spiritual successor or like the new entry. There's been some spin-off games for Mega Man. Don't get me wrong. I liked the Battle Network games. I did enjoy the Zero games. And I don't know if a lot of people know about Mega Man Legends, but Mega Man Legends was awesome. So there are things out there that are fun in the Mega Man universe, just like there are things out there that are fun in the Sonic universe. But I think it wasn't until, I want to say, God, I'm going to get this wrong because sorry, don't kill me, Sonic fans. I think it was Sonic Mania when they finally returned to that like nice 2D formula that Sonic fans were really looking for. And I'm pretty sure that game did pretty good as far as the critics were concerned. So if you're looking for that main line, that new installment, that Mega Man itch, this will help you scratch that itch, but it's not the successor game you're looking for. But if you go into it with an open mind and you just want some of that nostalgic feeling of, some of those old school vibe games, it is a very unique and fun package. This is its own thing. The characters are very fun. The voice is good. The music, very, very good. I liked it all. And it's an indie game, and it's very cheap, and it's on Steam and Switch. So check it out if you got the time. Highly, highly recommend. I haven't finished it yet, but I will definitely be going back to this one. The skimmer thing is funny because the skimmer thing in Destiny, and this might just be me being jaded, but to me, it's really cool, and I'm glad they added it, and I'm not going to take away from Bungie. Well, I say I'm not going to take away from it. I say that, but I'm lying. Okay. What I mean is good on them for putting a fun thing in the game, but this reeks of trying to get some eyes on the game. This is like, hey, you know, we got a Hail Mary here, but let's put something weird in the game. Because, like, let's be real, we know this is going to break stuff, and they know it's going to break stuff. And usually when they put something in the game they know is going to break stuff, it's, you know, it's got to be intentional, you know what I mean? I was blessed enough to be around during the laser tag era, and yeah, so when it was broken and they knew it, they could have disabled it, but they left it in there because at the time things were going badly and they needed some positive hype for the game. And at the time, laser tag was all that it was really like the big hype. And that's kind of the same thing with the skimmer is right now, Destiny is already in what would normally be the slow time for the season anyways. Guardian Games is never that interesting of an event. It's literally just the regular events, but with medals. And yeah, so seeing the skimmers pop up, I was just like, oh yeah, they're trying to you know what I mean? I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing, Bungie. I see you. But you know, who knows? I could be wrong, but if I'm right, expect some sort of announcement of an announcement. So it'll be like announcing the Destiny showcase next week, you know, or today we're announcing the announcement for next week's announcing, you know, something like that. It's not going to be like an actual thing. It'll just be like, hey guys, so you're enjoying those skimmers. Join us on Sunday to learn about the final shape. You know what I mean? I feel it's good. It's coming. It's coming. Mark my words. Mark them. Mark them down on your calendar, on your board. Mark those words down. Mark those words down. All right. I think even though I was a little bit late, I'm still doing okay with time. I'm gonna go ahead and give the little script reader one more shot because I don't think I'm not completely convinced it's not gonna work. I just think maybe I did something wrong. So I'm gonna try it again. The idea is that my script is on a white page because I don't have the settings for dark mode, but I thought maybe like, hey, you know, people who normally do shows like this, like a live show, this is a little different obviously because it's the fucking internet, but people who normally do live shows have like a teleprompter thingy. So I was like, hey, maybe if I get myself a little teleprompter and check it out and see if it works, but it's not really, it didn't work for that one. So I'm gonna try it one more time. I'm gonna try it one more time, which means, chat, you're gonna have to deal with it because I'm 100% you know, I'm 100% gonna do this. I'm gonna happen, unless I'm gonna try it one more time. So again, sorry chat, you're gonna have to deal with my kerflaffles, my Kurt waffles. Yeah, deal with my Kurt waffles or whatever, but yeah, we'll make it work. Anyways, chatteroonies, I got two things I'm gonna do. First, I'm going to try to take my little bat friend here to Blinkertown. This week I have wedding cake. Pretty good stuff. Not too bad. I like it. So I'm gonna do that real quick, and then we're gonna take a really quick break, and then we're gonna hop into the first three. My anime segment. You know, my anime segment. Poke them if you got them. This is also another big part of, I think, a setback in my content. Excuse me. Pardon me. It's a setback in my content, you know, that I make the choice to be on stream, hitting Le Benjamin. I make that choice, but it does make things harder on myself. That's part of the challenge, chat. All right, I am going to be right back, and when I return, we're going to talk about some anime. Alrighty, chat. Welcome back. Never ending. That joke's never gonna end. I'm gonna keep it going forever. I promise. I have also actually taken the initiative to reach out to somebody to attempt to commission this piece of art. It's gonna happen. It's, you know, it's the first channel meme. You know, me pointing at me. Welcome back. not understanding how that interaction is supposed to actually work. My name is Mr. Psyke, and welcome to the Mr. Psyke Sunday Show. The Sunday Show where we talk about all things gaming, anime, and VTubing every Sunday, 10 PST, right here on YouTube. This week on the first three, the anime segment of my show, where I watch the first 3 episodes of an anime so you don't have to, and you can decide if this is the anime that you want to spend your time with this season. On the Mr. Psyke Sunday Show, I'm also on episode 4, which means that not only are you learning with me, but, you know, there's going to be some little things here and there that we're going to try. If it doesn't work, you know, you might not see it again, but this week I'm trying some new script stuff. So please excuse any issues you might have while you're hanging out with me live. If you don't like this stuff, well, that's too damn bad. Hang out anyway. Just kidding. Isekai as a genre has a formula that is well known to most of, if not all, anime fans at this point. Since the formula is so straightforward, the world, characters, or even the magic has to do its fair share to pull you into the plot. Let's see if this isekai is the world you want to spend your time in as I dive into the first 3 episodes of The Wrong Way to Use Healing Magic. This week on the first 3, the segment of the Mr. Psyke Show where I dig into and spoil the first 3 episodes of an anime that looked interesting to me this season. All right, I'm going to edit this part out in the video section, but this might work. I just need to speed it up a tad. Thank you, chat. Thank you, chat, for understanding. If you're listening to me live, welcome. You're super cute. Let's get back into it. Right about here's probably. Okay. Maybe a little bit more. We're getting there. I'm figuring this out. I actually kind of like this thing. It's cool. Probably right. Probably good right there. Come along with me while I use entertaining you and making YouTube videos as an excuse to watch more shows. Episode 1, Dragged into Another World. We're starting off with a high school and the bustle of students going about their day-to-day, with an unnamed character giving his monologue about how some kids just don't stand out. As the camera pans to the popular kids, his monologue finishes up and we land on Usato, the so-called ordinary kid outside in the rain, alone, setting up to save some birdies. Flash forward to the poor guy now stuck inside with a really bad storm outside, essentially having gotten a lot stronger, stranded in what looks like his gym building, I guess? Enter the aforementioned popular kids who walk into Usato overlooking an umbrella that isn't his in a bin, commenting to himself that he could never put somebody out like that. He's showing a lot of character. We like this guy so far. After some back and forth where Inazumi, the female character, and Kazuki, the male character, break Usato's social barrier brain bubble and decide to be nice to the loner kid and walk with him umbrella in hand to his destination. I like this, guys. Listen, this is actually working pretty good. We're going to speed it up just a bit. I think right here. Try that. Oh my God. Probably too fast. It's too fast. Okay, so anybody who's seen Star Wars, it's like the words just took a big snort of some and all of a sudden the slide, it was going too crazy. Anyways. As we move to the kids walking together in the rain, they discuss some high school back and forth about how the non-popular kids view the two. How Usato found them unapproachable despite, you know, Inazumi and Kazuki protesting that label, and how they're all in the same class level, so they should have no problem chit-chatting with one another. Somewhere during the walk, the two more popular of the group begin to hear a faint sound of bells. They keep asking Usato if he hears it. He says no, but before they have any time to sort out the sound, a giant golden circle appears below them and engulfs them. Oh, I don't know if anybody saw that on their side, but on my side, whew, I just had my first ever like frame breakdown. I think my computer was probably just like, listen here, man, you're trying to do a lot of things and I need you to settle your ways down. Thanks again for everybody who's joining me live. If you're joining me live, you get to hang out and listen to me try to navigate this nonsense, be way too baked, and you know, also just love doing this. This is really fun. I don't know how I could ever state this in like, but all this like process of doing all this stuff, it is just way too much fun, and I really enjoy hanging out here with chat. So thank you so much for the opportunity, for real. But I'm gonna 3, 2, 1, you know, regroup and try to get back into this. Yeah, and I also, if you're here live with me, the isekai stuff going on, so super cool. All right, let's jump back into it. I'm gonna redo that last try to redo that last line real quick. So sorry for the repeats, chat. Jeez. They keep asking Usato if he hears it. He says no, but before they have any time to sort out the sound, and the giant golden circle of light appears below them, engulfing them. Usato mutters to himself, is this gate to another world? And very quickly, and expressing the first sign of the tone in this, they flash over to Inazumi's face as she's excitedly wondering if they're gonna see monsters. She's like revving up, it's great. The haze clears from their transportation, and the characters awake in front of King and Court. King Lloyd addresses the crew and says they use the one-way gate magic to bring the chosen heroes to their land to help them fight the Demon King and their invading armies. As the group voices their protests and asks, excuse me, why us? King Lloyd explains only true heroes can hear the bells of summoning, which prompts a panic look from the team because Usato's lack of tinnitus earlier on. The team is sent off to a room with a young cleric-looking girl who is presenting an orb to the team, stating if they touch the orb, it will reveal what kind of magic they can use. Some combo between the trio reveals that Usato may have magic, even though he isn't technically a hero. They check on it. Sorry. They check on first. Sorry, this one. Listen. Tip to anybody out there who ever wants to create content. Proofread your scripts and make sure your punctuations are correct, because when you go to read them, you will read them like me, and I am not doing a very good job. But yeah, no, that's actually it's a good tip. I'm very, very, very serious. Very good tip. Anybody who's creating, anybody who's writing, take the time to proofread it and edit carefully. And then if you're doing it for a script where you're going to read it, edit it in a way that fits your speech style, not what's grammatically correct. I don't care about that. Just make sure you put like pauses where it's good for your voice. Important. Do that. All right, moving on. They check one at a time. First, Inazumi, who gets lightning, and she's very overjoyed about that. And then Kazuki, who gets light magic, which is said to be pretty good and also rare. But Kazuki still has his hesitations about being in this new world. Usato, who hesitantly touches the orb, reveals a low green glow. Usato's slight joy and relief that he might not be here for nothing is immediately stricken down by the look of horror on the cleric girl's face. The sudden ripping of Usato from the room as the cleric drags him back into the king's chambers to deliver the news is hilarious. She pants furiously before her, her very, Usato's like tripping out and behind her, just confused, getting dragged along. The cleric tells her lord that Usato's orb has turned green, and the entire court, including the king, look as though they have all just witnessed the cleric woman kick a small puppy. If you're a gamer, nerd, anime fan, or anyone who knows about magic tropes, you're probably sitting there wondering, why are they freaking out about healing magic? It's green. They don't reveal to Usato it's healing yet, but the fear doesn't seem to be because of the healing magic itself, but maybe something else. Then the ominous energy in the room intensifies as the most menacing character we've seen thus far stops into the room. The most menacing character we've seen thus far stomps into the room, her tidy white outfit flowing behind her, force almost as powerful as her green hair flowing over. Her face is determined and strong, and her name is Rose. Everyone in the room is immediately keen to shut up about Usato. Rose gives her spiel to the king about some business and then appears to be on her way out. Usato, before she gets out the door, asks, "What about my green magic?" With the same panic and hurry as before, the cleric uses bubble magic to transport Usato the hell out of that room. He's sped out the hall, and even though he's launched out the hall, out the castle door, and up into the air in a split second, Rose speeds down the hall right before it with pure force. She's running on speed. Out the door, air pulse jumps into the air, punches the bubble, grabs Usato, and then she tells everybody, "Listen, I'm borrowing him. I'm borrowing this guy." She takes Usato to her rescue team a little way outside the castle. As a healing user herself, Rose has taken Usato under her wing to train. I guess healing magic is very rare in this world, so she decides to take him under. He has a quote where he says, "With every fiber of his being, he does not want to be there, but he's also very stubborn, and so is Rose. So he's gonna train, and it's gonna be brutal." Rose is super dope, the jokes are pretty good, and we're gonna be moving on to episode 2. I love Rose. Episode 2, Usato wakes up to his new home with the rescue team cottage. Here, he's actually, sorry, folks, chat. This is the beauty of doing this live. I can talk to you. I can read. You get to see like a little bit of, you're getting the under the hood of like the script, the YouTube script reading stuff going on. I think I just figured out the best way to do my script reading in the absolute world, and I love it. Also, pat on the back for me for a moment. Chat, you just gotta have to listen to me talk about myself while I wiggle my fro back and forth. This has been a great journey, and I have found a vast and amazing difference between content from day 1 to now day 4. Clearly there are days in the middle, but like, you know what I mean. Episode 1 to episode 4. Episode 1, the audio wasn't even working. It was broke. It was broke. Anyways, going on to episode 2. In episode 2, sorry, you gotta make sure you're hydrated. Yeah, that's important. You gotta make sure you're hydrated. You gotta make sure. Usato wakes up at his new home, the rescue team cottage. Here, he's staying with Rose's team of assistants who are more like a pirate crew of bros when you compare them to the court at the castle. Usato is starting his training here, and the warning amongst the boys is it's probably going to be brutal. Kazuki and Inazuma. Did I forget her name? Oh no, hey, listen, chat. Okay, well, I'm figuring out the main drawback right now, and that is typos can it's Inakuma. I'm just making sure I'm double checking the notes. I think it's definitely Inakuma, right? I guess if I said it wrong before, chat, I'm sorry. Um, on the fly, guys. On the fly, y'all. Inukami. Inukami. Sorry. Well, there we go. Anyways, Inukami. Inukami. Kazuki and Inukami come to visit Usato, and they're worried about his current kidnapping by Rose. Usato is determined to train so he can be useful despite the looming Rose, who is loud, strict, and ready to put Usato through hell. This drive seems to be putting something into his team of companions that go back to their castle to also start their training. The opening sequence is a very shonen-esque rock tune that has got the zero to hero themes going on throughout the intro. But, you know, it's a cool one. I like it, but it's serviceable. Rose wants Usato to run. So the training montage that ensues is lots of running. Rose runs Usato like a workhorse. We get a sequence of days. Day 2, and it's just mostly running. Day 3, more the same, and Rose is pushing from behind. Usato doesn't know if this is what he was expecting. Day 4, and he's running with the crew this time, but they're all lapping him. Day 5, and he's getting a bit faster, and towards the end, we're starting to witness some green sparkles coming out the back of his hand. As day 6 rolls around, although he is persevering, he's beginning to get fed up with Rose and her being such a hard ass all the time. He starts cursing at her under his breath and mutters about how he's gonna talk about her in his journal. However, we're getting more green sparks. Day 7, he says he's been running so much he thought he would die, but he's able to cure himself as he runs now. Now that he's learning, the end of his training is now including Rose, giving him an ass whooping in the most literal sense. Day 8, he's getting pissed off from the whippings, but he keeps taking the crap. He starts saying Rose is a witch, but he's only writing it in his journal, and he's always talking about how he's going to add it to his journal. It's pretty funny. On this day, he heals. His heals level up a bit, and he heals his ass. Quite literally. By day 10, he can manifest his magic more readily, and although the running and beatings are still rough, he can heal on the fly, and he's much more focused. Maybe he seems to be having a little bit of fun? We go to day 11, and now we've got push-ups. 800 plus. He's self-healing, and he's continuing to grow as he self-heals. His drive is getting better. He has an inner drive to protect his friends. Day 12, runs, push-ups, body's feeling lighter. Day 13, Rose is relentlessly adding weight. Big bricks, no little kid stuff. Sato is healing on the fly now. By day 14, we roll into a time skip. We get a scene with Usato about to enjoy a well-deserved lunch after a long day dragged out in the sun. One of the crew members thought it would be funny to hide his lunch, and his absolute meltdown is a wonderful character development point. He's getting fed up, but he's also tough and determined. As we flash forward to day 21, and another visit from the friends, the duo of Kazuki and Inukami is accompanied by a senior knight and a small princess-looking girl. As a slow pan of Usato doing push-ups with a massive block on his back while Captain Rose sits powerfully and arrogantly atop the block staring down at her pupil. It's so awesome. Kazuki and Inukami look on in shock at the young man's transformation and the exchange between Rose and Usato, who are currently throwing lip back and forth to one another. It's truly a priceless scene. They stop to greet the visitors, and the senior officer traveling with the duo immediately starts scolding Rose for being way too harsh on the kid. Rose is unmoved, and they begin a yelling match back and forth as the trio go to sit down and talk about their training and catch up while the princess is there. They enjoy some delicious pie, and Inukami and Kazuki comment on Usato's resolve. He wants to be as helpful as he possibly can. He has a fleeting thought of if he can train his brain to match his new body, but, they just kind of have a good chat and a little lunch, and it's a great scene. As we reach the peak, literally the peak, at the end of the episode, that is to say, Rose and Usato are on the peak of the mountain overlooking the forest, Rose tells Usato to truly train, he needs to up his game and hunt a giant grizzly bear. While Usato is panicking over his upcoming mission, reminiscing over a memory from when he was reading up on, the bears the other day, he is rudely interrupted by his new mentor picking up his terrified frozen body and hurling him across the air into the forest for his first real test. And then we'll go on to episode 3. All right. Just, we're good. We're staying in there. I'm just gonna quick hydration, and then we're gonna keep going. Thanks you folks for joining me on the Mr. Psyke Sunday show. I just like to remind you, if you're joining me live, first and foremost, thank you so much. You are a real one, and you're definitely super cute. Please like and subscribe to the channel so I can continue to put out awesome content like this. And if you're listening to this version on video format, in a segment session, or on audio format, remember that you can join me on every Sunday. That's MrPsyke.com/@MrPsyke420 on YouTube every Sunday. I believe it's still 10 PST AM, 10 a.m. PST, but daylight saving stuff is going on, so I'm going to try to figure that out. I'll make sure, but I'm pretty sure we're still in the 10 PST time slot. If that's wrong, I'll go ahead and update it and let everybody know next week. Anyway, going into episode 3. In episode 3, we start the bear hunt. So far, the characters are selling the show and the jokes are landing. Good example is straight into Usato's hunt. He begins searching, only for the bear to be immediately chasing out behind him. He says, "I wonder if the bear can match my speed," only for a millisecond to pass before he's screaming, "The bear is matching my speed!" Then he gets the courage to take a stand, and the second he does, more bears jump out and join the chase. Usato escapes to a waterfall, and after recovering and composing himself, he starts trying to hunt the bear again. During his hunt, he comes across a cute rabbit monster, completely black in color and obnoxiously adorable, who is hurt out in the woods. A quick heal up of the bunny, and he takes a liking to Usato, begins following him around and trying to help him trail the bear. You get a lot of him trying to track, kind of talking back and forth the bunny. After following some tracks, Usato finally finds his large gray grizzly prey and his 2 blue bear companions, and the scene isn't sitting quite right with him. The blue grizzlies are Mama Bear and Baby Bear, respectively. Rose only sent him out to hunt the gray one, but their otherwise not threatening nature when they're in their habitat makes Usato leave and regroup. The bunny also seems unthreatened by the bears, so things are making Usato question his goals. Since he's surviving on his own, we get a scene where he makes a choice that he kind of knows is probably not going to be a good one, to drink some water he thinks looks a little questionable, only to deal with some nasty stomach poisoning later. He goes through the arduous task of healing his insides, but takes a valuable lesson away for later in the meantime. We get a little bit more casing of the bear's home and a scene of the bunny companion leading Usato to some fresh water and showing some pretty high levels of understanding. During the excursion out on their water trip, they wind up on a section of the forest that causes the bunny to get rigid and be on edge. Through tense muscles and darting eyes, Usato notices a giant snake, and he immediately knows that this thing is a dangerous threat, as compared to the grizzly bears that didn't give him the same aura. Usato goes back to finally confront his mission. He knows he shouldn't mess with the snake. The back and forth in his mind of needing to fulfill his goal for Rose because he is stubborn and has to, not really wanting to kill the grizzly. The juxtaposition gets met with a kick to the metaphorical teeth as Usato arrives to the scene of the grizzly bear and the mama torn up by snake bites and the baby left crawling out of the rubble. The bears, uneaten, tell a story of a kill for sport and not one of nature. Usato doesn't like what he sees. The bunny steels itself to lead Usato to the snake for one last showdown. Even though Usato told him otherwise, the bear cub also goes to try to square up with the snake. Usato digs deep, facing the fact that all his training has mostly just been running and no combat. During the snake fight, Usato grabs out a stick he had from his pack and goes at it. He takes a massive tail strike, but heals, and after some footwork, he attempts to jump at the snake with a sleight of hand move that gets his arm bit, but leaves the wooden object lodged in the snake's mouth. He gets kind of taken back. Usato is weak and reeling because the snake has poisoned him from the bite. The training from earlier pays off, however, as he clears the poison faster than he may have been able to had this been his first go-round at it. He then lunges at the snake with all of his "I can beat the first boss" energy he can, and the snake gets shanked in the eye. All the while, the tiny baby bear takes every little bite, nibble, and scratch he can, getting in his licks before that snake goes down. Usato lays bunny and bear near mama. Usato lays bunny and bear near with his mana depleted, happy with his victory as the early win is cut short. Snake flying back up to ready. Yeah, see, yeah, listen, once again, if you're writing your scripts, especially for yourself, be careful of typos. Anyways, essentially, his victory is cut short when the snake comes flying back up, ready to go, bloody eyes, staring for vengeance into Usato. Usato is frozen, and he looks over the oncoming snake jaw, and in a wonderfully character-perfect moment, Usato, instead of looking over and flashing his, getting his flash of his previous, endeavors, he screams every insult he can about Rose, gearing up for what he thinks are going to be his final moments. Then, crashing down like the dominant captain she is, Rose's boot falls firmly on top of the snake's skull, driving it to the forest floor, ending the battle as Usato looks over in relief. The bunny is revealed as Rose's companion, faking kindness to keep tabs on Usato, which sort of pisses him off. Rose also shows her protege some kudos as she says with his progress, they might be able to take the Demon Lord on. The small blue grizzly seems to imprint on Usato as Rose dominantly tells the small creature, "You'll be coming with us from now on." The bear nuzzles up to its new friend and helps Usato up onto his back. The final scene with this group is a pan down of Usato being carried by his bear friend, who's being carried by Rose on their shoulder, carrying them all out the forest to their final checkpoint. As we get to the end of the episode, we flash to our apparent demon lord and his demon companion. Hot characters with horns. The end. Isekais, you know, they're good. And they're not, how do I say? It's not, No, you know. No, wait, I got it. Yeah, okay. Isekais are not really the anime genre that I gravitate towards. So usually the show itself has got to do a lot of work with something to get me hooked in. The world, something going on with the powers, something's got to sink its hands in me, you know, sink its fangs in me. The best part of the wrong way to use healing magic is I don't think I forgot any of the funny moments, and all of the funny moments landed for me anyways. Usato is generally funny, and his character shines, taking a I'll just do my best with this situation approach without it coming off as too corny. The world and its stakes take a backseat to character interactions and a fun spin on the healer being the hardest ass character in the show with Usato's mentor Rose. Rose's boss energy is perfect, and the green-haired lady gets bias points for being one of those archetypes I will generally gravitate towards in any show. Isekais don't usually do it for me, and they might not do it for you either. However, if you like anime when they land their jokes, well, are looking, you know, and you're looking to just get lost in funny character interactions that will probably show off some interesting and out-of-the-box ways to be a support class on your team, then you, like myself, might enjoy this one for your anime slot this season. Personally, I'm going to be continuing this one just for Rose alone. Got more in the discussions coming after more in the discussions coming at you after a very short break. Guys, thank you so much for joining me on the Mr. Psyke Sunday Show, and I will be right back. Hello and welcome back to the Mr. Psyche Sunday Show. The Sunday Show where we talk about all things anime, gaming, and VTubing. My name's Mr. Psyche. I'm a cartoon, and you're not. Or you are, and that's probably not even the weirdest thing about you. This week, for the first three on the wrong way to use healing magic, I can confidently say that the best thing is it's funny. It's a funny show, and Rose is one of those stomp on your neck as death type female characters that immediately, you know, hey, listen, you get an auto vote. You get an auto vote for me on that one. It's yeah, come on. Also reminds me of Olivia in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Another one of my favorite female characters in anime. So yeah, I mean, that's just an easy sell for me. When he's interacting with Rose's crew, they're like a ragtag like crew outside of a little bit outside of the castle, like roughneck types, and they give him shit. And Osato, as he starts to develop, you start to see the back and forth. First of all, with him and Rose, he starts to basically curse her under his breath, and they keep going back and forth. And then as it evolves, he starts to get bold enough to like talk shit back to her, but he still like respects her as like the captain and the mentor and stuff. So it's a really cool dynamic that I just absolutely love. And I also always love the spin as a person who has constantly tried to make the support character work in any way, shape, or form. You know, even in games where the support or healer sucks, I've tried to make that work and try to make that my role. So when I see spins on the healer characters, you know, being the powerful characters, or being the dominant characters, or being the characters that are feared, I can definitely get behind that. I love it very much, and I will never turn down a dominant female character with green hair. We got green hair too. Oh yeah. So unfortunately, I've got a huge heaping pile of anime bias on this one, but I think it's also a testament to how much I liked it, because I also have a huge anime bias in the other direction, because I don't actually usually get down with isekais. So, you know, take that for what you will. I think that's a good sign. If they're able to hook you in with the characters to a genre that you don't normally like, I think that's a win. Sorry, I need quick moment. Sorry, my apologies. So yeah, I liked, who else did I like? What is the other character I like? No, you know, mainly Osato kind of stole the show. In the third episode, I really did like the interactions with the grizzly bear and the baby grizzly bear. And I also like so when the rabbit first helps him, he's like, oh, well, this rabbit can communicate. That's kind of odd. Is it a monster? But it's nice. And the bunny is like, you know, cute and leading him everywhere, and like shows him what the water is, like meet me, like here this way, and meet me, you know, and it's these cute little adorable interactions. And then when Rose comes and saves the snake, and the bunny hops up on Rose's shoulder, like revealing that yes, this is Rose's pet companion, the bunny's change in attitude is so perfect. Just now it starts standing with his spine all more correct, and like just this arrogant like look down of like, yeah, I'm the rabbit and I was tricking you. It's so funny. It's funny. I loved it. It was so good. And you're just like, oh yeah, that's definitely Rose's pet. That makes a whole bunch of sense right there. Perfect. Yeah, so this one gonna stick with, I think, with everything that's going on right now in with the shows. And as far as my first 3 reviews goes, I don't know if this one's going to be on the top of the list, but it's 100% one that when I have some downtime, if I don't know what to watch, or I've caught up on whatever, then yeah, I'm going to make sure to, knock this one off the list. It's going to be looking, this one was looking pretty funny. I'm very interested to see where they take the healing magic, and my newfound love for the character Rose alone will probably see me at the very least pop in an image or 2 of Rose, or even a meme or theme somewhere. I could see her being a character that ends up on somewhere on my desk. So yeah, good stuff. Check it out if you'd like. That was my first 3 episodes of using healing magic the wrong way. Like I said, folks, as we get more people in the zone, discussion sections may extend or lengthen. It also just depends on how much I have to talk about the topic, or it will depend on if I was running late, like I was. But not too much going on today for the discussion section, so I'm going to take one more quick break. Not one more. I'm going to take another quick break so we can roll into the VTuber section for the week, and then we'll wrap up for the Sunday show. I'll be right back. And thank you so much for joining me. My name is Mr. Psyke. Yeah. All right. Welcome back. Oh, hey. The thing happened. Hot eyes. Mother. Sorry, for those listening to just the audio, not the video, sometimes when I get too excited, my eyes become hearts, and they stay that way. Bonus points for being a cartoon, because your eyes probably can't do that unless you're a VTuber. Then maybe, probably something else. I see lots of cool stuff. VTuber eyes alone is I'd say a very, very strong reason to get into the to get into this little niche, get into this niche, you know, more VTubers to check out their badass eye art. Some of it is better than anything you're gonna see in any anime. I promise you that. Promise. I give you my word. Welcome to the Mr. Psyke Sunday Show. It's a Sunday show where we talk about all things gaming, anime, and VTubing. My name is Mr. Psyke, the VTuber that definitely could have got away with it if it wasn't for those meddling kids. This week on the VTubing section, which I'm so sorry, and I hate to say this, and I hate to admit it, and hate to, you know, throw this out there, but I still don't have a name for this segment. This should have been the first one I got a name for. It really should have. I should have been a front row center. Excuse me. Gosh. Well, blah, blah. Anyways, yeah, that should have been front row and center. Anyways, let's just go ahead and get right into it. Over in VTuber land, a strange phenomenon popped up with VTubers posting NSW ASMR word salad audio clips on their feed. On a closer look, not a lot, but not all. Not all, but a lot were AI generated. AI has been a hot topic online and off, and the impact it has on different communities and jobs is, of course, varied. For VTubers, the conversation is usually around content creation, shortcuts, and art. Art is the backbone of the VTuber community. From graphic designers to people to build models, model rigs, voice packs, assets, and more. For the uninitiated, if you don't have skills of some sort in any of these arts, you're probably going to have some direct contact with some sort of artist to get yourself going at some point. This leads to a symbiotic tie between artists and VTubers. Lots of VTubers are artists. Lots of artists are fans. Lots of VTubers are fans of artists. Lots of artists are VTubers themselves, and they become artists, vice versa, blah, blah, blah. You get the idea. While the AI started popping up naturally, then some as jokes and memes, and then as serious entries, it gets to a point, and that dystopian point, where you don't really know what is real. For AI, and I'm sure this is popular to say amongst artists, I think the quicker we get to a spot where we accept it, we're gonna get there no matter what, you know. We should try to get in front of it. How we implement it into our spaces ethically is really important, and I think it's only gonna suck more when it eventually breaks the door down. The AI ASMRs were silly, and they got clicks, if not just for the shock of it. I'm smart enough to know that, I'm not. That's no. I'm not smart enough to know exactly how far the AI will get into the VTuber art space. However, a lot of our fan bases comes from people who started with, you know, an AI star in Hatsu. It's here, and we just need to figure out what to do with it instead of fighting it all the way. Though, I mean, like it's definitely going to take. It's definitely going to take some trial and tribulation. And there's going to be some bumps on the way for sure. Though currently on stream hiatus, Husky VTuber Breeze recently opened commissions as she got accepted to VGen. If you're looking for a POC creator to work with, Breeze is currently offering logos, overlays, and more. Check her out on vgen.co at WindNB, that's ENBY. And I'll have her information linked below. Blaze at twitch.tv. Blazed, I think it's Blaze at Midnight is the handle for Twitch. I'm going to go ahead and just link that down below. Got to have a combo with Guilty and Ash on the show she has named Uppies for Beauties and Baddies. And it was a fun time with Dead by Daylight and an interview with two Black creators in the VTubing space. Blaze hosts various shows on her stream, and it's fantastic to get insight from other creators on what they do with their content and navigating their streams. You also get the entertainment of the wonderful creators on the show, so if you get some time, make sure to go check her out. That's Blaze on Twitch. If you yourself, or know of a POC VTuber who has an upcoming debut, content drop, or collab, and you'd like me to highlight them on my show, or you know of or have contact with a POC VTuber that might be wanting to be interested in doing an interview, please reach out to me at mrpsyke420@gmail.com. That way we can add more of that stuff to the discussions. And unfortunately, the time constraints that I had for the week, which is, of course, nobody's problem but mine, but I'm just throwing it out there, did not allow me to have more time to get into any other VTubing discussions this week. But the Wind NB's information for her VGen account will be down below, and I do highly suggest that. Now, I will caveat that they are longer streams, but you can just hop into Blaze's channel to check out her shows. A lot of her shows involve other VTubers in this space that look a little bit like myself, if you know what I mean. So highly recommend checking that out. And that is going to do it for the VTuber section show. I have one more open discussion section before I head out for the day. And since I got everything winded down here right about on time, take a short break and then out. So I'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me on the Mr. Psyke Sunday Show, the Sunday show where I talk about all things anime, gaming, and VTubing. I would like to sincerely apologize for, first off and foremost, the being late. And chat, listen, this is going to be a bonus for anybody hanging out with me live, or anybody who's on the channel from my YouTube channel. And this is gonna also reinforce the fact that the best way to hang out with me is live every Sunday on the Mr. Psyke Sunday Show, where we hang out and you get little things that not everybody else gets. Like you get to hang out with me here in this room right here. Since the last part of the discussion, I decided to move out of the office space here, and we'll just hang out here in the cozy area. Hello, hi, hello. Hey, isn't it nice? Look. Anyways, thank you so much for joining me. My name is Mr. Psyke, the VTuber that and that's it. Right here on the Sunday show, we're in the discussion section for my VTuber section, and also after the VTuber section discussion, we just kind of roll out with the end of the day. I didn't add personally. So I wanted to, for the video, add clips of specific ASMR, VTuber, whatever. They were basically, they're NSW, ASMR, VTuber clips, audio clips, and I wanted to include more of them on there and stuff, but I didn't want to include the pictures, one because I didn't know which VTubers were memeing, which weren't, which ones were actually AI. It was a whole thing, and I didn't want it, you know, to call anybody out, because like if you're doing it for a meme and I'm like, look at this AI, you know, it's silly. But also because it wasn't just like VTuber ASMR slowly talks into your ear about the you know, the or massage or any of the just like the basic, no, you know, or like licking sounds in the air. It wasn't that. It was like it would be like your VTuber boyfriend gets hit by a truck and bleeds out slowly while you, it would be like some crazy completely off the wall title. Yeah, and so I, you know, but I did listen to a couple that were clearly the VTuber or the creator doing the recording themselves. Some of them were funny. Some of them were actually, you know, kind of good for ASMR, whatever. And some of them were clearly just like AI, like oh my god, please say, like the AI voice would be like, hello honey, why did you, I'm so glad you waited, and then they'd get like hit by the truck or whatever, or like ASMR, like your hot ASMR big titty girlfriend gets pelted by rocks in the quarry. It's something crazy. It would be something so ridiculous. So yeah, but that discussion of AI just swirls around, so that's what I kind of brought up, and I continue to be on team. Basically, I continue to be on team. Fuck people who use this wrong, trying to replace actual artists, whether that be voice actors, artists, etc., blah blah blah, completely with an AI is. And it probably not the ethical way to do it, but the fact that the AIs are literally like just on your cell phone now with like without you even like I think you have to go out of your way to not have it. They're probably going to just replace the assistants in an update or two, and then you know, people are just going to interact with them. The casual who doesn't care about the AI conversation is just going to start interacting with them, and it'll become, you know, this normal casual thing. So if we don't get in front of these spaces, like where is it good to implement it, how and what are the ethical ways to implement it, and constantly point to those conversations and figure out how we get in front of it, we're just going to lose. We're just going to lose here, because like I said in my segment, art is the backbone of the VTuber community. This is not a discussion or there's no, you know, one, you either have to put some effort into the skills, just content creation in general, you know, editing, thumbnails, things like that. But for a VTuber, you have the extra added joy and I don't know, tribulations. I don't know. You gotta design your model. You gotta think about all this stuff, you know. So this was all, and trust me when I say it is a process to get all of this stuff going and working properly. It is. You don't just, people just think about like the cost and the rig itself. Wanna to bring you a little bit behind the curtain. One of the things that I was not nearly prepared for at all wasn't actually the modeling or the feeling, because I don't, if you look, watch you do some good things. If you're here live, good for you. You get to see this. If not, it just sounds like I'm constipated. But I don't think have any issues with expression or knowing kind of what to do with the face, but there's a whole workflow to understanding that you are not speaking as naturally as you would. You try to get mouth closes more cleanly, little things like this that you would never guess if you're just like, yeah, I just want to be a cartoon. So there's tons of stuff, and your artists will help you with that. Other things was like backgrounds. There's just so much stuff that you're either going to learn yourself, which means you're probably going to be taking tutorials from other artists, or you're, you know, commissioning some of these fine artists. And when you do that, you will enter in a dialogue. You make friends. You, if you want, I mean, clearly it's business, but you will make connections if you stay long enough. You'll start to find artists you like, and you'll start to work with people. Yeah, so all these things to say that the AI is AI as a whole, generative AI and AI art is going to continue to be pervasive in the space. It's going to continue to push us closer and closer to a different way we navigate it, and we should be firmly in front of that line instead of on the sidelines yelling at it. That's just my take, but hey, hey, I'm just a guy. I have no idea. But that's what I think. So here we are, and that's what it be. And then as far as the other VTuber connections go, I think the interviews were awesome. Blaze did a very good job talking with the girls, with the ladies, with the VTubies, and they were I love it. They're insightful. They both have geez, I hope that doesn't come up on my mic. If it does, that's crazy. But yeah, they have developed these larger communities on their own in their own ways, that support and collab with Black and POC creators alike, and that VTubing space is growing and supportive, and I love it. So please go check them out. All their information will be linked in the description. Febreze, not Febreze, for Breeze, the Husky VTuber that I shouted out in my segment. She was the first VTuber that actually reached out to me personally when I did my little stint over on Kick to try to see what was going on there. Something inside of me knew I eventually was going to be landing here on YouTube. YouTube has always kind of been my home as far as just like me goes. Internet, like I exist on the internet. See, here I am. This is where I exist. I'm on the internet. And YouTube's where I spend a lot of my time. So it's kind of the ecosphere I want to grow in. And I believe that if I cannot grow and sustain in this ecosystem, then yeah, I don't think this is going to be for me. If I can't make it work on YouTube, I don't think I'm going to try anything else. It'll just be a hobby after that, you know? But that's kind of all it is right now anyway. So, yeah, say la vie, right? This week was a good week for me as far as a little bit of development on the workflow and a little bit of learning and knowledge as far as editing goes. And things seem to get a little bit cleaner as I go here. I did have one segment that went up this week, and if you are listening to this at this moment and you're hearing the audio version, if you get a chance to listen to the segment of the week that I did for my anime segment, I included music on that one. So you get a chance to hear that one. The music is a lot. Please comment, you know, hey, have the videos, no music, those are cleaner and the audio sounds better. Everything is appreciated. I like all the comments and I like all the suggestions. So it's all appreciated. Listen, folks, I would like to, you know, say again that I really appreciate doing this. If you are hearing this in any format, live on YouTube or in an audio format or segment, but if you're hearing this speech right here, this one right here, if you're hearing me right now, then you are definitely one of the realest ones, and you're probably super cute. I do this show every Sunday, 10 PST, 10:30 this week. Sorry. I will try harder to make sure there are no technical delays next week, so that we're right on time and we have more time for discussions. But like I said, right now I've got plenty of time for discussions, because they will only get longer as people join in, which they will. We'll be here. I'll see ya. Anyways, folks, that's going to do it for me this Sunday on the Mr. Psyke Show. My name is Mr. Psyke. Do me a favor, go out and take some time to touch some grass. If you're like me, you can blaze the grass. Again, you're here with me at the end of it all. You're the realest one. And as always, and most importantly, go out there and remember to be kind to each other. All right, that's going to do it for me, folks. See you next week on the Sunday show. Peace.